The noon rush in Camp Halston's mess hall was always loud, but today it was chaos, chairs scraping, trays clattering, Marines shouting over each other as they hurried to grab food before the next training cycle. No one noticed her at first, the small, quiet woman in a plain gray t-shirt, hair tied back, walking with a tray balanced carefully in her hands. She didn't move like a recruit. She didn't move like someone lost or intimidated either. She moved with a steady presence, calm, almost too calm for a place packed with exhausted Marines. But Private First Class Nolan Reeves didn't care about presence or calm. He was 6 feet of ego with a buzz cut, and at that moment, he was furious because someone had taken the last of the buffalo chicken wings. Scowling, he stormed through the aisle, and shoved straight into her without even looking. Her tray flew sideways, but she didn't. She didn't stumble. She didn't flinch. She simply absorbed the impact with an ease that should have alarmed him. "Watch it," Nolan barked, looking down at her with a smirk. She looked up at him, expression unreadable. "You pushed me. So what?" He stepped closer, puffing up his chest. "You knew here. Then learn quick. Stay out of the way." A few Marines chuckled nearby. Someone muttered, "He's gonna make her cry." But she didn't cry. She didn't even blink. Instead, she simply reached down, picked up her tray, dusted off a few crumbs, and continued forward as if Nolan wasn't even worth responding to. That insulted him more than any curse could. "Hey," Nolan shouted, stepping in front of her again. "You got a problem, sweetheart?" The mess hall quieted a little, not fully, but enough for heads to turn. It wasn't every day someone challenged Nolan. He was known for being loud, reckless, and annoyingly proud of the single trophy he'd won in hand-to-hand combat last winter. She sighed softly and shifted her tray to her left hand. "I don't want trouble." Too late. He jabbed a finger toward her chest. "Last chance. Say sorry." This time she lifted her eyes fully to his, and the room seemed to freeze. Her tone didn't rise. It didn't shake. It didn't change at all. "You will move." Nolan laughed. "Or what?" She didn't answer. Instead, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a black badge holder, worn, unassuming, clipped with a silver insignia that only a few people in that mess hall truly recognized, because only a few had ever seen one in person. But the moment Nolan glanced at it, the blood drained from his face. It wasn't a rank badge. It wasn't a unit patch. It wasn't even from the Marine Corps. It was an NCIS Special Investigator badge, surrounded by a gold-plated frame and marked with a clearance stripe reserved for agents embedded with special operations units. A badge that outranked him in every room, on every base, in every situation. Whispers erupted instantly. "Holy, she's NCIS. And look at the clearance level. Reeves is done." Nolan's bravado evaporated like smoke in a storm. He swallowed hard, stepped back, and stammered, "Ma'am, I didn't know." She walked past him without a word, but the look she gave him, calm, cold, and absolutely in control, ended his smile long before she took her seat. Private First Class Nolan Reeves stood frozen in the center of the mess hall, still trying to process what had just happened. The woman he shoved, who looked like any other civilian contractor, had just walked away without raising her voice, without threatening him, without even glancing back. But that badge had nearly stopped his heart. NCIS, High Clearance, Special Operations Liaison. Every Marine knew what that meant. She wasn't just an investigator, she was someone who saw everything, reported everything, and had unrestricted access to every corner of the base. One complaint from her could send him to disciplinary confinement or worse. Whispers swelled around him, mocking, stunned, amused. Reeves picked the wrong person today. Bro, he shoved a federal agent. She didn't even blink. That's the scary part. Nolan felt heat burning in his cheeks. Not from anger, this time from humiliation. At the far end of the hall, she set her tray down at an empty table. She sat with quiet, composed movements, taking a sip of water as though she had all the time in the world. But Nolan noticed something now, something he missed earlier. The way she scanned the room. The way her eyes memorized exits without moving her head. The way she faced the wall, never placing her back to the open space. This wasn't a desk agent. This was someone who had seen combat. He swallowed hard, then squared his shoulders. He had to fix this. He stepped forward, weaving through tables, ignoring the snickers around him. A few Marines tried to stop him. "Reeves, don't. Just leave it, man. She's out of your league, professionally and physically." But he shook them off and approached her table. She didn't look up when he arrived. Ma'am, he began. Sit, she said simply. He obeyed instantly. Only when he sat across from her did she lift her eyes. Calm, unreadable, unwavering. You shoved me, she said, voice neutral. Twice. He nodded quickly. I did, ma'am. That was wrong. I let my temper go. I apologize. Silence. She watched him for a long moment, long enough for him to feel sweat forming at the back of his neck. Then she placed her badge on the table, not aggressively, not to intimidate, but deliberately, as if she wanted him to see it up close. PFC Reeves, she said, I'm embedded here for 3 reasons: oversight, security, and integrity. Do you know what integrity means? Yes, ma'am. No, she corrected gently, you know the definition. But you don't know the practice. Not yet. He stiffened. She continued, your record shows potential. Your attitude shows problems. Today confirmed both. Nolan blinked. She had looked through his file. Her voice softened, not warm, but unexpectedly human. You can still become the Marine you're supposed to be. But arrogance will bury you faster than combat. He lowered his head. Ma'am, I'll do better. I know, she said. Because I'll be watching. Then she picked up her tray, stood, and walked away, leaving him with a single, crushing realization. Her calm was more terrifying than any drill instructor on base.